service. What's up, podcast listeners? Thanks for tuning back in to the Full Service Podcast. It's Tank Smith. We are back for week number 2. Week number 2, we made it. We're not dead yet. We are back. Thanks. If you listen to week number the first episode, I guess. Thanks for checking it out. And if you're new, what's up? Hey, thanks for being here. You know, we need you. We expanded. We're on a lot of different platforms now. We are on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Google Play Music, Podbean, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Too Many Radio. We're everywhere. So no matter where you're checking us out from, we appreciate you doing that. I'm Tank Smith. I'm the host. But shout out to Elise Aniston for that was being my first guest. Hell yeah, I appreciate it. If you can check her out, Hot Elise is her Twitter, HOTTALYSE. Yeah, check her out. But thanks for coming back for week 2. I was gonna have an interview this week, but I feel like I needed to explain, I guess, before I can ask like my guests to like tell about themselves and tell about their experience. I feel like I need to kind of do the same thing, so there's a little bit of like reciprocation, yeah, that's how I feel. And so basically, the episode of this episode's title is 10,000. I did an AMA on Instagram a couple days ago. I actually got a good response. Yeah, if you submitted a question to the AMA, I really appreciate that. That was dope. I might, if I have time in this episode, I will share some of the questions and answers. But yeah, that was cool. And if you some people reached out to me as well. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's called 10,000 Hours. I did an AMA on Instagram. I said, like, last year, that's true. I really hadn't said it out loud. I spent basically, like, $10,000. A little north of that, basically on escorts. Since about, like, I got into this, maybe it was, like, Memorial Day, 2018. And I never really said that out loud. And when you say that's a lot of money, it's a lot of money. People look at you weird, like, what the fuck was going on, bro? How did that happen? How, what, when, where, why, dog? Tell what? Yeah. So it happened, and I feel like I kind of need to tell you how that all started. Just so you get an idea. Out of who I am, but where I was at when I started this whole thing. So yeah, this could be titled Week 1 actually, but we'll leave it 10,000. 10,000 sounds better. But I kind of mentioned it in the first episode. I'd been in a long relationship. I was in a relationship from the time I was 19 to 28. And when we got out, it was like 8.5 years. We still lived together, and it was it was not it's not a good situation, It was a lot. It's not. I don't know if you've been in a breakup. I'm sure people listen to this. You've been in a relationship, you know what it's like. But if you're in a relationship for a long time and you kind of get out of that, I didn't know what the fuck. Like, I didn't know what the fuck. What was up at all. I knew nothing, I was Jon Snowing it out there, like that. You can look at your future, I feel like, at certain points, and kind of see like what's in the car. What do you think's gonna happen? What do you see the path going forward for you? I feel like there's points in your life when you kind of see this. And at that point, I feel like I'm at that. I guess I wasn't gonna be intimate with anybody for a long time. I felt like, and that's not. I feel like that was mostly me. I'd say Mostly me, probably 100% me. I was probably just because I mean I had like low self esteem, fucking negative body image, and I felt like I wasn't to put myself in a vulnerable situation with somebody else. I guess I feel like I wasn't ready for that. Definitely, I did not want to be in another relationship for sure. After getting out of like that's I'm not. I'm out of a relationship for the first time in like 9 years. I'm not trying to get back into something else, And I feel like I'm also at the time like I guess I'm not also not randomly gonna like hook up with people. And I'm doing comedy, so the people that I'm hanging out with are all comics. It's all We're doing open mics every day, Like when I'm like, what am I gonna meet somebody like at a bar? Like what? That's where I'm at, like every day. Um, so I'm like, what's the path forward? And I'm like, maybe an escort is kind of what I'm thinking. I looked it up. Literally this whole thing. I googled Raleigh escort. I was living in Raleigh at the time. Um, I googled Raleigh escorts. That's literally that's it. That's you Google like whatever city you're in and escorts, there will be websites that pop up. Click on these websites. Oh, there's ads. Okay. Um, and so that's basically what I did. And I was still nervous though, because I'm like it's. I was living with my ex at the time, and I'm like, do I want to do this while I'm still living here? We're not together, but what should I do? And I feel like it's weird when shit just happens. Like I was working at a company at the time, and I had to go to Knoxville for work, and it happened to be like the end of Memorial Day weekend. So I had to be in Knoxville on Tuesday for work after Memorial Day. Um, and I had some family. I have some family that lives near Asheville in the mountains. So I was like, here's what I'm gonna do. On Sunday, I'll just drive to basically the mountains, hang out there Sunday, hang out there Monday, Memorial Day, drive to Knoxville, 2 hours Tuesday, be there for work. Good, right? So the weekend, Memorial Day 2018 was the first weekend of the Oak City Comedy Festival. It's a comedy festival that happens in Raleigh. This year's the third one, 2020. You guys should check it out. OakCityComedyFestival.com. Plug in the comedy festival. Shoddy, you better be happy I'm doing this. No. So yeah, the comedy festival was that weekend. And up to this point, like I had never been to a strip club. I'd never seen an escort or really anything, like literally anything at all. Um, so my buddy, Saturday, we were kind of talking, and he's like, "Yo, dude, you want to go to a strip club, right?" And I'm like, I'm out of a relationship. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's see what this is about. I've heard tales. I've heard tales that there's boobies in there. Okay. I was like, let's go. Um, so we go to Raleigh Men's Club. I don't know if you guys ever been there. I mentioned in the Cena episode, I took my buddy on Valentine's Day. This was after the fact. But yeah, so we go to Raleigh Men's Club, and I never been. I think it was maybe like a $20 cover charge to get in. And then you get in, it's like, oh wow, there's dancers in here. There's people doing flips and shit. This is incredible. This is amazing. And people just talk to you, and I'm like, and see, he was a veteran. He's a veteran of the strip club scene. I feel like whenever you go to a strip club with somebody who goes to strip clubs a lot and you're new to it, they try to give you as much advice as possible as going into the situation, right? They try to tell you shit like, oh, they're gonna talk to you because they want your money, right? And me, what I like, I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, yeah, sure, okay, what, really? And yeah, they're just gonna talk to me, okay. So we go in, and like, yeah, people come up and talk to you, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And I like, look, I think I was like, what are the dances? What are the prices for dances? I think it was like $40 a song. And then me, I'm just like economical, I guess you could say. Some people say economical, some people say cheap. I'd say, I guess, economical. So I'm like, okay, it's $40 a dance, and I'm like, well, can you do time? Like, what's the time situation? I think it was like maybe like 150 for like 15 minutes, 30 minutes was like $300. So at that point, I was like, well, I'll just do the 300. You know, why are we yeah, let's fucking 300. Let's do that. So I ended up going to the back room with this chick, and the dances were amazing. Handstands, incredible. Bravo. Fucking great. Definitely, for sure. And so we get out, and I was like, we get out, and I talked to my buddy, and he's like, "Are you ready to go?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Um, and that was Saturday. Good time, good time. That was Saturday, but I was like, man, I want to do that shit again. You know, I was like, why? I'm, I'm an impulsive person. Definitely. I like when something feels good and I'm like dopamine rushes my brain. I'm like, how soon can I do that shit again? How fucking soon can I do that again? Because that was sweet. Let's fucking do it. It's like when I discovered, it's like when I discovered what dabs were for the first time. You know, you discover what dabs are, and you're like, man, I gotta find some more dabs. Hell yeah, that shit was great. That's how that experience was. You know. And so Saturday is the last night of the festival. We go to the strip club. Sunday, I got to go to Asheville for work, right? Um, and I'd kind of been looking up escorts, like I mentioned in the Raleigh area. I never really looked up Asheville before. So this is like uncharted territory. I was like, man, let's try to get escorts Sunday. Let's try that. Um, so Sunday, I drive from Raleigh to Asheville, and the whole way to Asheville, I'm basically Googling Asheville escorts. Like that's basically what I'm doing for 3 hours in the car. I know, for 3 out of 4.5 hours, I'm literally texting and emailing people like, "Oh hey, are you free?" or whatever. Um, which in high, I'm like, "Don't text and drive." I say it on the first episode. Don't text and drive. What the fuck was I doing? I was texting and driving. Looking up escorts and driving, looking up whatever and driving. Just fucking chill, bro. To myself. And so I remember I emailed a girl. She said she wasn't available. Um, I get to Asheville, and then this one girl hits me up and is like, she's available, but her time window, she wasn't, I guess she wasn't sure when she was going to be available. She hit me up, and I think I ended up, she gave me a time, and then I ended up having to wait in this Bilo parking lot for like an hour, basically. Bilo's like Ingles. It's like a Western North Carolina grocery store, if you're not aware. So I'm basically like waiting in this Bilo parking lot in my car, and I'm thinking like this is because this is the first time I've ever I'm gonna see an escort. You know, like I'm nervous. I guess I don't know what to expect for sure. I Google was my teacher. You know, I didn't know anybody who had ever gotten an escort. I didn't know who to talk to. So I'm like, Google's really what's going to lead me right in this situation. I guess is what I thought. And so in order to see her too, I guess she sent me a picture of her face, but other than that, there was really no kind of screening um, at all, really. Um, so after I wait in the parking lot for a while, she gives me an address somewhere. It's not in Asheville, one of the surrounding cities. I can't even honestly remember. Um, and so I drive, and I'm go up this winding mountain path, I guess. um, and then there's a couple duplex apartments kind of up on a hill, she gives me the address. At this point, it's like pouring down rain. Like it's kind of like hard to see. Um, and so she gives me the address, and I like kind of pull in front of this like kind of like duplex house. And when I park, I'm in my work rental car, by the way. A fucking Kia Soul, like a purple one. It's pouring down rain, and like as I'm pulling up, I kind of see like like kids bikes under the porch, right? And so I'm like, okay, but I'm still like the way I see this whole thing, right? I always felt like I would be fine, like throughout every situation I've been in. I've always kind of like, I guess I'm a hopeful person in general, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be good. But also at the same time, I'm not thinking like this is real. Like this is real life. What the fuck's happening? Um, so I see like the kids' bikes under the porch, and I'm like, oh shit, like it's a mom. Okay, okay. Um, so we get in. I gotta run from the car, like, cause it's fucking pouring down rain. Like run from the car up on this porch. She like introduced like we talk for a second. We go inside. And I remember she kind of mentioned something about the time being shorter because I know it was like I was trying to maybe it was like an hour or something we had scheduled for. Um, and she's like, yeah, my mom like has the kids and she might be back kind of early, so we don't like our time window shortened. Um, and at that point, I'm starting to also I was like, well, is she gonna like kind of like come back? Like I'm like uneasy. This is the first time. This is the first time I'm like literally done anything at all other than go to a strip club the previous night. Um, and I'm like, yeah, is she gonna be back with the kid? She's like, oh well, like if she sees the car in the driveway, then she's not gonna come back. It's everything's fine. And I felt better for sure. But also I yeah, I guess yeah, yeah. God damn, it was. I guess I'm not really sure how I felt. Other than the fact that we were we were gonna do this thing, I guess. I come inside, yeah, and I'm looking like I'm kind of like surveilling the apartment, and like there's like I hear a dog like barking in a cage, like in a back room or whatever. And I'm like looking out, and I'm like, this is like all her kids' toys are like basically all over the apartment. Um, and I remember she like asked me if I wanted sweet tea, which is really fucking nice. I didn't. I end up I sit down on the couch, and it's like covered in dog hair basically, and uh, eventually shit happens. I'm like sitting on this couch, and us having sex maybe lasted fucking a minute. I hadn't had sex in a while. I will freely. I hadn't had sex in a while. This shit was short as fuck. But I was like, that was great. That was all. Thank you. I mean, this whole like, see, what, man. I guess it's hard to say how I felt, but I was just thankful that I guess this person was still able to do this thing. I guess I guess us to. I mean, I guess I hadn't had sex in a while, so yeah, we had sex, and I felt good about the fact that it happened. But at the same time, I guess I didn't envision what that as being like the first time this that I would do this thing. I guess. But at the same time, I guess I wasn't discouraged like at all. I was like, that was cool. Let's try it again. Let's go for it. We had this experience. Let's try it. Let's see what's up. I'm just too goddamn hopeful. I think that's my problem in every situation. I'm like, hey, this wasn't the best. Let's try it again. Let's see if it happened. I guess maybe that's why this podcast is happening. So that was Sunday. On Monday, I'm in Asheville. Asheville, it's Memorial Day. This is a pivotal day. So one of my friends in Asheville, I told him that Saturday. I didn't tell him about the escort at all Sunday. I didn't talk about that. Um, but I told him, I was like, hey, dude, I just went to a strip club in Raleigh on Saturday for the first time. I see you guys got a strip club in Asheville, the Treasure Club. Let's go check it out. And he was like, hell yeah, dude, I hadn't been there in a minute. Let's do this. So we go, and I'd say it was smaller. It was a lot smaller than Raleigh men's club, but I don't know. It's a cool spot. I don't know if you've ever been to the Treasure Club in Asheville, fucking Swananoa River Road. Take a ride out there. Check it out. It's the only one in Asheville. It's the only one that you can, I think, legally is allowed to even be in Asheville. The owner has some like monopoly shit. They cannot have another strip club in Asheville. So if you're in Asheville, you're going to the old TC. That's what you're doing. So we go in there Monday night, and we're in there for a while. I think my when I went Saturday, I kind of like got a dance from basically one person that entire night and spent that 300 or whatever. Um, so when I went Monday, I'm like, let me just get dances from multiple different people or whatever. Let's fucking whatever whatever one thinks when they go in the let's spread the fucking money. I don't know what the fuck. But I was like, let's get multiple dances from different people instead of spending all on one person, quickly. So I did that, I guess, and then, god damn it, your boy fell in love. Okay, yeah, it fucking happened. Okay, it happened. It's funny. It's funny now. It's hilarious now. At the time, it was not funny at all. Yeah, I fell in love. It's I think if you're emotionally vulnerable, if you are super emotionally vulnerable, don't go to strip club. That is the recipe for love. That is the recipe for goddamn love. So I meet this chick. For for the story, let's call her. We're gonna use the name Patty. Let's use that name. Um, so I basically fall in love. Then we have we talk for a minute, and then I'm like, yeah, this is it. Why? I guess I'm the kind of person that when I find some shit that I like, I'm like, yeah, I found the thing I like. This is what I'm doing now. This is like I said earlier, right? I got a sweatshirt for a while, and I'm like, this is the sweatshirt I like. I bought another sweatshirt, the exact same. So I think I bought like two of the same sweatshirt. I'm like, dude, this is the sweatshirt that I like. I'm gonna wear this sweatshirt, and basically I found that. Um, I guess that Patty was my fucking sweatshirt. God damn it, that sounds terrible. But yeah, I was like, this is the person that this is yes, this is. We had we had a great conversation. I got dances. I was like, I'm fucking in love. This is why would I? This is yeah. This is you, it's bad, right? I remember that night, we got there. I don't know. We were there like all night basically, um, and I remember at the end of we stayed till they closed at like 3. I don't know. I guess they close at like 2. I don't fucking whenever they close. I was getting like a dance right in the back, and they started playing closing time, like semisonic closing time. And I almost started crying. Like that's that's where I was at. That's where my head. I was like, and then she was like, "Yeah, my name's Patty or whatever," and I was like, "Wow." Maybe she likes me too. Just fucking, yeah. That's where I was at. Okay. Um, Great fucking time, but I leave Tuesday morning, heading to Knoxville for work. But all I'm like thinking about is like, man, how the fuck do I get back to Asheville? How the fuck does that happen? But also, I'm like, I'm in Knoxville. Why not go to a strip club after work, see if you can get an escort? We're fucking doing this thing. I'm I'm all in at this point. I'm like, let's see what's next. We're on vacation. Let's see what happens, I guess. Um, so Tuesday I got to go to work. I work until maybe like 5 or 6. Get off, and I'm like, let's see, let's see if I can get an escort. Let's see what strip clubs are in Knoxville. I found the Mouse's Ear. I don't know if any of you guys have, anybody's in the Knoxville area listen to the podcast. You ever been in the Mouse's Ear? I went to the Mouse's Ear. Um, but before going to the Mouse's Ear that night, I messaged. I was like on some escort websites when I got back to my hotel room, looking to see. I don't even honestly. It might have been like adult look or something. Not even like adult cert. Like it was one of these websites where shit is popping up. I'm getting some pop ups. I'm getting some calls from international numbers. Still happens now. I don't really get it. But I ended up messaging this girl about an hour, right? Um, and she hits me up. I remember asking her before, because this is a white chick, right? I remember asking her. I was like, "Are you cool like seeing black dudes?" Because I remember seeing it in ads like from the very beginning. You would see like I'd say, I mean, when I was looking up in Knoxville, I would say not most of the ads, but I'd say a good like half would have like no AA on the ads, which is basically like no black dudes. And so when I messaged her, I think I was like, "Hey, are you cool? Like I'm black or whatever." She's like, yeah, I don't care. Like that's not an issue. But I do like screen people. I made sure that I screen people. Um, but like her screening process was like, send me a picture of of yourself holding up 3 fingers with your tongue out. That was basically like the screening process. And so I sent it, and she was like, "Okay, we're good to go." So I kind of asked, I was like, "Hey, do you want to like come to my hotel? Do you want me to go to wherever you're at?" She's like, "Yeah, come to where I'm at. I don't really like hotels." She gave me a time to be there, which is maybe in a couple hours. So I was like, "Well, let's go to the fucking Mouse's Ear before going to meet up with this girl." And so I go to the Mouse's Ear. Good time. Sad place. It's really just it's fucking empty. Motherfuckers in there not tipping. There's not. I see. If you go to a goddamn strip club, you gotta have fucking money. You can't go to a strip club and not fucking give people money. Especially this is a place. This is a full nude strip club. I feel like if somebody is fucking on stage, fucking dancing, showing everything, and you're gonna fucking sit there and not give money is fucking, bro. I was tipping hard. You get yeah. It's just fucking motherfuckers were not throwing. Yeah, you just got to do that. If you go to a strip club and no one's fucking tipping anybody on stage, fucking tip somebody, dude. Fucking or lady, fucking give these people some money. They're fucking working, right? Um, so I leave. I'm there at the Mouse's here for a little while, and then I leave and I head to where this girl basically told me. Where she was, right? She gave me the address. I looked it up on Google Maps. It didn't really have a street view picture. Um, so I pull up to the address, and it's basically I'm past like a gas station, and then you got like a old timey like country sports bar. You got like a Mexican restaurant, and then like attached to the Mexican restaurant is like a closed, dark ass building, right? And that's the address. That's where we're supposed to be going, right? That's where, yeah. And it was like a pressure washing company. She's like, drive around the back of the building. I drive around the back of the building. She's standing kind of at the door. At the back was like, hey, is this Tank? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, cool, park there, meet me around front. Um, so I was like, okay, sweet, yeah. So I park, I drive around front, and I should mention, like, seeing, like, this pressure washing company has, like, boarded up windows, this is, but I guess the way, I'm still, I'm still a goddamn hopeful person. It's weird, the whole time I was like, yeah, I think I'll be fine. Yeah, I think this whole thing, like, and my thing is that I always felt, and I still feel the same way, that if I schedule with somebody, then I'm not gonna fucking cancel because they could have scheduled somebody else in my spot, and I'm essentially costing. If I go to where you're at and I'm costing you money if I don't fucking give you money, because somebody else could have been booked in my spot. Um, and also too, I was like, I just had sex like I guess the day before or like 2 days before Sunday, and I was like, well, let's hopefully this experience will be better. This will be good. Um, so we kind of go in the building. I say, "What's up? Hey, how's it going?" We talk for a second, and I notice that she doesn't like lock the door to the outside of the building. And so I'm like, "Hey, do you have like you need to lock the door or anything?" And she ends up grabbing like a 2x4 from like just off the ground and then like puts it up under the handle. It's like, okay, I think we're good. And I was like, okay, all right, cool, yeah, we're good. um, and I was still this whole time. I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. Everything will be good. And so we kind of like start surveying the room. And like I put the money down and shit. We talked for a sec. But I know it's like couches. It looks like almost like a kind of like storage facility. There's lamps. There's just like furniture, like just basically everywhere. I see like it looks like her stuff like on couches, and then I see like kind of like a pull-out bed in the center of the room. Um, and so we like go over to the bed or whatever, and then like I lay down on my back on the bed, and I'm a big dude. I hate like me and fucking pull out couch beds are not friends. It was we're not fucking when I lay like no matter what's happening, if I'm laying on a couch with a pull out bed, all I'm thinking about is god damn it, these bars fucking hurt, right? That's all I'm thinking the whole time. Um and so basically at one point, before really like I was like I asked her, I was like, hey, do you want me to go down on you? Because I like doing that. Yeah. And she's like I'm on methadone, so you don't have to do that. Um, and so I hear that, and at that point I'm like, oh, this situation just got real. This is you can like this got a real situation is what I thought at the time. And my dick goes super soft, like super soft, right? Just a soft ass dick. And putting a soft dick in a vagina does not work. I don't know if any listeners out there have ever really tried that. But it does not work at all. So basically, I start jerking off, try to get hard, basically. And then I just jerked off too goddamn good. My hand was just feeling too nice, and then I came in the condom. Yeah. And then I apologized. And I was like, hey, my bad. Sorry about that. And I apologized. And then I like basically leave. We both kind of left together, actually. It was weird. So I'm like, as soon as I kind of leave, I walk to the right of the building to go like get back in my car. And then like there's a van waiting outside. And then this dude gets out, and she and this guy like walk towards kind of the gas station. And at that point, I'm thinking like, oh, like fuck, this is a real goddamn ass situation that like I guess I didn't. I guess I don't want to think like I'll see on Twitter, right? People that I guess clients, if you want to call it, yeah, clients. They don't want to think that what they're doing is bad. It fucking makes you. It makes you feel better that you're not, I guess, supporting someone's drug habit or whatever. You're just doing this thing and they fucking love you and they're like it's yeah. I guess I didn't want to think that there could be an ulterior motive for somebody doing this other than the love of the game. I guess you want to say. Um, and so I guess that was the first time I really had to think like what are you doing, like what are you what's your goal here? What are you trying to do really? Um, and so I really contemplated that at the Mouse's ear because I immediately left. I went to Crystal. I remember I got a fucking like a 555 Crystal deal, and then went back to the Mouse's ear because it was Tuesday and they had like 2 for 1 dancers or something like. And so I was just really just like hanging out there, just like, wow, this is what I'm doing now. This is this is you're a different person, you know. And but all I could think about, honestly, I was like, fuck, like Monday was fucking dope. Like that, I guess that connection I felt with, uh, I guess with Patty felt real, you know. And that's basically like I was like, man, that's what I really want is like I guess that with somebody else, just like talking with somebody, hanging, being cool, them shit talking you, and just like she's a goddamn. I don't know if I can. I'm a Falcons fan, and she's a Saints fan, and we are bitter rivals. And it's nice talking shit to somebody. It's really nice. It's a lot of fun, um, especially when it's reciprocated. I don't know what it is like, but like just like someone talking shit to you, they're like cool as fuck. It's really nice. like negging. I guess I like being negged. I guess it goes with my esteem level. You know, neg me more. It hurts. Fuck yeah. Maybe I just need to see Dominatrix and have her insult me. If you're out there for me, what's up? Say right to the podcast. But no, all I could really think about was I was like, man, fucking Monday was great. Fucking, I gotta get back. I gotta somehow get back to Asheville. So I'm like, here's what I'm about to do. Wednesday, I was scheduled to be at work basically Tuesday and Wednesday in Knoxville. Head back to Raleigh on Thursday. But I'm like, fucking, you know what? God damn it, fucking, Asheville is 2 hours. Asheville's 2 hours from Knoxville. So here's what I'm about to do. After work after work Wednesday, I'm just gonna drive to Asheville, fucking go to the old TC, go to the Treasure Club, see this chick, and just go there and just hang out with her. Cause it's like that. I guess I hadn't been fucking getting out of a relationship. Like you feel like I guess happy moments feel better when you're feeling when you feel like not good for a long time and good shit happens. I guess it feels better than it normally would, you know. Um, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go to Asheville Wednesday night. Randomly, also, um, the girl that I had messaged in Asheville originally on Sunday hit me up and was like, "Hey, I'm free now in Asheville if you want to see me or whatever." And so I was like, "This is fucking fate, Colin. How is this happening to me?" So I'm gonna drive back to Asheville. I'm gonna see this escort, and then I'm gonna go to the goddamn Treasure Club, right? Jesus Christ. So that's basically exactly what happened. I go see this chick, and then I feel like everything that happened on this trip was it's like a interest, like it's just like a point for me, I guess, like a thing, like everything that happened, I guess, is a focal point in why I guess I'm doing this, or why I started, I guess, or why I guess I feel the way I do. Hmm. But I go to Asheville, and I meet this chick. It was a good time. But I really the only thing. Yeah, it was a good time. Uh, yeah, the only thing I guess I could say is the interesting thing was the. I guess I'd been in a relationship for like a long time. So STDs, I was not really afraid of uh, STDs, like literally at all. Condoms were not yeah. I wasn't afraid I wasn't afraid of STDs, but now suddenly I'm like, oh man, I'm like, how STDs are they fucking like? I felt like they were out to get me. It's just like everywhere. I'm like, oh god, there could be an STD there. Oh god, there could be an STD there. So I felt like when I was in Asheville the last time, I felt like the whole time I was thinking like, oh my god, am I gonna get an STD? Which without really fucking looking up any kind of fucking stats, literally at all. I'm just like in my head, just like, and I felt like I really couldn't enjoy it because of that fact, and also the whole time I'm literally thinking, yo, just fucking go back to the strip club. That's where you want to go. That's where you want to go. That's where you want to go. What are you doing? And so after I saw her, I go back to the Treasure Club. Um, and she's working, of course. I think she told me. I think she told me she was working like maybe like Monday, Wednesday, or something. Um, and so hang out that night. Fucking great. I don't know. Fucking amazing. Best time ever. Um, yeah, it was a good time. And when I left that night, I guess that Wednesday, and I head back to Raleigh on Thursday. I'm, I'm thinking like, man, we're definitely in love. You know, I got to follow on Instagram. we're we're in love. You know, and only after talking to people. And then, oh my god, oh shit, this is the best thing, right? I always forget about this shit, right? So, here's where I was at, right? I leave, I end up leaving Raleigh. I leave Asheville Thursday morning, back for Raleigh, right? And I keep thinking like that this is I gotta somehow get back to Asheville. I gotta somehow get back. What if this? I gotta somehow get back to Asheville. You know, I'm fucking addicted at this point. You know, I'm like this was this is the greatest thing ever to happen to me. Uh, I met the person. You know. um, and I remember driving back. I remember driving back from Asheville to Raleigh, and as like during the day, I'm like, there's a strip club in Greensboro. I don't know what it's called. Maybe Mirage, maybe. That's like just off of 40. Um, so I see a sign for the strip club, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to this strip club, and I'm gonna see what this other stripper who doesn't know Patty thinks about this whole dilemma. Do you think there's a possibility that we could be together? So I I go to Greenville. I go to the strip club, and I find this girl, and I'm like, hey, can I tell you my situation that I'm in right now? Okay, I just met this girl at the strip club in Asheville, and she like followed me on Instagram, but also like she has like a family, do you think maybe there's a chance that somehow maybe that she'll maybe leave her family and like me and her will somehow be together in the end? You know, that's and she was really nice. She was like she she treated my inquiry like an actual inquiry. We talked through it and the possibility that hey, maybe she really does like you, you know, or maybe I think you may be thinking of this a little bit too much, you know, and I was definitely thinking into it a little like way too fucking much, and but I think definitely was thinking into it too much, but you know, I was at a point in my life where you know that seemed like a legitimate thing. Um, and I ended up going back to Asheville a few times for shows. But I think honestly through that was basically like my first week, like that Saturday to um, Wednesday. I guess leave Raleigh Thursday, but nothing really happened. But through that, I kind of realized what my whole thing was, like why it was, I guess what I was actually looking for, you know, because I had had sex 3 times, and yet I had hung out with this chick, and hanging out with her was 100% better than those 3 times that I met those 3 people, and also other people that I saw in the future. And I would always I was like, why was that? Why why was that? You know, what was the difference? You know, and I think for me it was definitely an intimacy thing. You know, that connection with another person kind of thing is what I was looking for. Um, and everybody's different, but I felt like only through kind of like experiencing that, or maybe like talking to people, then you kind of understand what you are really, why you do what you do. Um, but after, I guess after that whole thing, um, you know, I still continue to see people throughout like end of 2018, um, and this year as well. But that that was my first week. I know there's people out there that have had experiences like this, and yeah, I guess I felt like I needed to share what kind of my whole introduction to, I guess, the world of sex work, if you want to say that. Um, but yeah, that was my first week. Um, I felt like I needed to share that before we kind of kick off these interviews. Um, that's my kind of situation. I mean, I'll go into detail about kind of like other kind of things I've been through. I just didn't want to. I don't want to do that on this episode. I just want to kind of share that initial week. Um, but we'll be back. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who I got next week. I got a few episodes lined up. I'm not sure the order I'm going to do it yet, but I'm excited for them. But yeah, I just thanks for it's been episode 2. I know if you're listening, you're like, God damn it, Tank, I wanted another fucking interview. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just felt like I needed to I guess tell that and before we go any farther. But yeah, I appreciate you listening. We're now on a whole bunch of different podcast platforms. We're on Google Play Podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Podbeam, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. We're every fucking where. But I appreciate you listening. Keep coming back. Um, I think, I hope, whatever, however you feel after listening to that, I guess my story. That's what happened. That's where I was at. Uh, Memorial Day 2018. But we're here now, and we're fucking doing this goddamn podcast. So I appreciate you listening, and I will see you later. I'll see you next week, every Tuesday, baby. Full service. I'm in Tank Smith. Thank you. Oh boy, what's up? We're not gone yet. We're not. You thought we're done? It's not over. Got 2 minutes left. People who stopped after the last part, they're not even gonna know what happened. They're gonna think, "Oh wow, that ended sadly." But no, it didn't. We're back. Thanks for listening. We're now on Apple Podcasts. So if you have an iPhone or if you use iTunes, if you could just give us a rating on there, subscribe, that really helps for visibility for new podcasts. That would be amazing. We are, I said it before, we're on social media. Our Instagram and Twitter are at Full Service Pod. My personal Instagram and Twitter are at Tank Funkadelic. Give us a follow and right into the podcast. Right into the podcast. Let us know if you've had a experience that's kind of similar to mine, or really just any experience. I want to know who is listening to the podcast. I want to get I want to get your opinions. I want to know what you're thinking. So yeah, our email address is fullservicepod@gmail.com. So right into the podcast. And if you are a stand-up comedy fan, I got some dates coming up. Got to plug those dates. October 14th, I will be at Amaza in Decatur. That show starts at 8 p.m. The 16th of October, I'm heading up to North Carolina for a couple days. I will be at Old Pineville Premium Pub in Charlotte at 8 p.m. on the 16th. On the 17th, I will be at Dirty Bull Brewing Company in Durham. That show starts at 8 p.m. The 18th, I will be at the Paramount Theater in Burlington, North Carolina. That show is at 9. I'll put a link to tickets in the show description. That's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be hot. And then the 24th, I'll be back in Buckhead at Five Paces Inn. That is the 24th. That show starts at 9 p.m. So yeah, I'll be out there, and come see a show if you wanna do that. But yeah, thanks for checking out the podcast. We will be back on Tuesday. I got an interview. It's gonna be good. So stay tuned, and thanks for listening. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the person that you just bump into at the mall. You know, those old ladies that are wearing weights on their ankles. They're speed walking. Be like, hey, do you know what a podcast is? They're gonna say no. Explain to them what podcasts are. You know, it might take a few minutes to do. But I think they're really going to understand what podcasts are after you have that conversation, and then you hit them with the hey, full service, and then they're fans for life. You know, might only be a few years, but you know those last few years might be enriched by a wonderful podcast. So no, thanks for listening to Share, subscribe, review, rate, whatever. And we'll be back next week. All right, peace. Full service.